Sometimes, the people around you will laugh at your dreams. Sometimes, even your own family will say, "You can't do it." But every once in a while, a person rises from the mud of poverty, proves everyone wrong, and becomes the light of an entire village. In a quiet village surrounded by endless fields of wheat and dusty roads, lived a boy named Karim. His father was a poor farmer, struggling every day to feed his family. They owned no land, only their small mud house with a leaky roof. Life for them was a daily battle for survival. Karim wore clothes so torn that his knees always showed. His slippers had holes, and when it rained, he walked barefoot through the mud. The other children made fun of him. "Look at Karim," they laughed. "He dreams too much. He wants to study and become something big. But how can a poor farmer's son ever change his life?" Even adults in the village joined the mocking. His relatives often said, "Karim, stop wasting time with books. Go and work in the fields. That is your life. You will never be more than this." These words pierced his young heart like sharp thorns. But deep inside, Karim carried a fire. While others played by the river, he sat under the shade of a neem tree with a broken slate in hand, trying to practice his letters. He didn't have proper books, but sometimes the village teacher gave him old notebooks. At night, when the village went dark, Karim lit a small oil lamp and studied until his eyes grew heavy. His mother was the only one who truly believed in him. She whispered to him late at night, "My son, people may laugh, but never let their words kill your dreams. If you work hard with honesty, one day you will rise." Years passed. Karim grew into a young man. He dreamed of finding a job in the nearby town, but life was cruel. Whenever he applied, people rejected him. Some said, "You don't have proper education." Others looked down on his torn clothes. Each rejection felt like a stone on his heart, and each failure made the villagers laugh louder. "See, Karim will always be a failure. We told you. He should have just stayed in the fields with his father." But instead of breaking, Karim's spirit grew stronger. One evening, as he sat alone by the riverbank, listening to the water flow under the moonlight, he whispered to himself, "If no one will give me a chance, I will create my own chance." He remembered the struggles of the villagers, especially the women walking miles in the scorching heat to fetch clean water, balancing heavy pots on their heads. He asked himself, "What if I could solve this problem? What if I could ease their pain even a little?" With that thought, Karim decided to start small. He worked in other people's fields from dawn to dusk, his hands blistered and his back aching, but he never complained. Every little coin he earned, he saved. After months of sacrifice, he finally bought an old wooden cart. He filled it with pots of clean water from the nearby town and brought them to his village to sell. The first day, people laughed again. "Look, the boy who wanted to be a hero is now nothing but a water seller." Some mocked him openly, others refused to buy, saying they could fetch their own water. But Karim didn't lose heart. He walked door to door, offering clean water at a fair price, and sometimes even giving it free to families who couldn't afford it. His sincerity slowly touched the villagers' hearts. They realized his service was saving them time, effort, and hardship. Within months, his little business began to grow. He repaired his cart, bought more pots, and added another trip to the town each day. Soon he wasn't just a poor boy anymore. He was someone the village began to depend on. One day, an old man in the village shook his head in wonder and said, "This boy has done what none of us thought of. He has brought water to our doorsteps." Those words spread like fire. Slowly, respect replaced laughter. With his savings, he opened a small shop. At first, it was just rice, flour, and oil, but soon he expanded, adding tea, spices, soap, and clothes, everything the village needed. Mothers blessed him when they came to buy, children smiled when he gave them sweets, and his parents watched with tears in their eyes as their son, once mocked by all, was becoming a true leader. But Karim's heart was bigger than his business. He remembered the pain of being poor, the sting of rejection, and the shame of being laughed at. So he began giving jobs to other poor boys in the village. He taught them, work with honesty, never cheat, and you will rise too. For the first time, those boys felt hope in their lives, and their families thanked Karim for giving their sons dignity. Years later, Karim's shop grew into a full business. He built a proper brick house for his parents, repaired the leaking roof, and gave them the comfort they had never known. He donated money to rebuild the village school so no child would be forced to study as he once did. He even sponsored poor children's education, making sure no dream was crushed by poverty again. The same villagers who once mocked him now proudly said, "Karim is not just a shopkeeper, he is the pride of our village." One evening, as the sun set and golden light spread across the endless fields, Karim stood outside his shop. The children played happily, the women smiled in relief, and the elders blessed him with folded hands. A man who once mocked him stepped forward, his eyes moist with regret. He said, "Karim, we doubted you, we laughed at you, we tried to pull you down. But today, you are the hero of our village. Forgive us." Karim smiled humbly, his heart soft, and replied, "Don't be sorry. If you hadn't doubted me, I wouldn't have fought so hard. Your doubt became my strength. And remember this, no matter how poor you are, no matter how small you start, if you refuse to give up, you can rise. From zero, you too can become a hero." That night, as he looked up at the stars, Karim remembered the days he had studied under a neem tree, the rejections, the laughter, the hunger. His eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of gratitude. Life had tested him, but he had proven one thing. Dreams are stronger than poverty, and hard work is louder than mockery. Life will always put obstacles in your way. People may laugh at your dreams. Even your own family may not believe in you. But if you hold on, work hard, and never give up, you can turn every no into a yes. Remember this, from zero, you too can become a hero. If you found wisdom in this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Life Lessons Library for more inspiring tales.